Well, good evening, everyone. We are so excited that you are with us for this year's Justice for All celebration. We are so excited about celebrating this event with you. My name is Todd Fisher, and I will, if you've been to a JFA before, I will be talking a lot tonight because I've done this at other JFAs in the past before. If this is your first time with us, we are so thankful to have you here tonight to hear about the amazing work of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. I am a longtime supporter, volunteer, former board member, and perhaps most importantly, my wife Angeline has worked at the legal clinic since interning at the clinic back in 1998 as a law student. So you're going to be able to hear from her later on this evening. On behalf of the whole team at the legal clinic, we are so grateful that you could join us for this very special evening. And before we get started, I would like to extend a particular thanks to our title sponsor for this year's event, Barnes and Thornburg. Where's the Barnes and Thornburg group? Oh, well, there you are. Hi, Kendall. Good to see you. Hi, guys. Can we thank Barnes and Thornburg both for this evening and for, Kendall, you and your team's amazing engagement with the legal clinic. I was at Barnes & Thornburg last week for a little business thing, and the coffee was great. One suggestion, your lobby, I think, would be a great bookstore. It's just an idea. It used to be a Borders. So tonight we are going to be celebrating an important milestone in the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic's history, 30 years. Abby Kuzma, 30 years. How is this possible? 30 years. Where is Abby? Is she in here? Okay, there she is. 30 years. We're going to get to hear from Abby later on. Does anyone remember 1994? I look around this room and some of you guys weren't even around in 1994. It was a remarkable time. I had a mullet. There are photos. Some of you guys have seen them. And we are so excited, in particular this evening on our 30th anniversary, to have Jimmy McMillan, who some of you know as Tic Tac, that we're going to be hearing from this evening. So looking forward to hearing from Jimmy, as well as from Abby, as we already said, and also from my wife and some others. As we're coming together tonight, it's also important to remember that there's an impact that each one of us can have in the work of the legal clinic. We have a goal this evening of raising $90,000. And is it okay if I raise that goal already, just here at the beginning? Because I think we can do it, guys. It's an amazing work, and for those of you who are going to hear some of these stories tonight, I hope you will be as moved as I have been over the years by the amazing legal services, education, and resources that the clinic provides for Hoosiers across the whole state. And I will also add this: if this is your first time hearing about the clinic, you are here because a friend or a neighbor or a coworker invited you along, or you made it through security without anyone noticing you, you are in for a real treat. This is an amazing work that God does through the legal clinic, and I'm excited for you to be able to hear about it. Before we proceed, I think it's very appropriate for a place like the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic to have a word of prayer, and I'm really glad to invite Pastor Terry Thorne from Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, the place where this kind of all started, to come up and offer a word of prayer. So, Pastor Terry.
Good evening. It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight with you. I do come representing Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, from which the legal clinic emerged. But those who know me also know that the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic has been a treasure in my heart long before I was at Tabernacle. In fact, the congregation I served as pastor prior to Tab, which was First Presbyterian Church in Lebanon, was the first intake site for the clinic in Boone County. I spent many Saturday mornings there with a volunteer attorney, Lynn Tyler of Barnes and Thornburg, meeting folks and listening to their stories. As Tab's associate pastor, the best part of my ministry is encouraging our missions and community partners as together we seek to demonstrate the unconditional love of God through relationships. Every day, I get to interact with folks serving in the 24 different TAB-supported ministries and missions, as each of them, in their own way, offers the good news of Christ's deep compassion, wide welcome, unending mercy, and compelling sense of justice for the oppressed. Now, not that I have favorite ministry partners, but let's just say I am super excited and eager to begin my service this year on the clinic's board. I'm super excited. And I look forward to being part of the justice work that God does through the staff, the volunteers, and the financial supporters of the clinic. Now, I suppose technically I was invited to be present tonight to offer blessing over the meal and this event because of my role at TAB and the longstanding relationship. But I assure you, I would want to be here even if neither of those things were true. As one who has passion for justice and a really bad habit of bluntness, I believe that unfettered access to legal service is truly one of the greatest gifts that anyone could ever receive. And without the work of ministries like the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic, it would be a gift given only to those with power, privilege, and means. And that, my friends, is not the way of Jesus Christ. So please allow me now to pray on our behalf. On this night, Holy God, we stand in accord with all of the prophetic voices through whom you call your people to seek justice, to show mercy, to offer compassion, to turn our swords into plowshares, and to live as best as we are able in peace with one another. We are grateful for the mission of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic and praise you for the way you have provided for the 30 years of presence in this community, and we boldly pray for at least 30 more. We ask to God for your blessing on this evening of celebration. For those who have worked diligently to prepare every detail of this gala, we give you thanks and pray that they may now rest in their good work and find joy in this evening. And for those who are part of the programming tonight, may they be encouraged with their inner calmness and speak with confidence, knowing that your Holy Spirit is at work within their message. For those who labor and serve the mission of the clinic, we pray you continue to use them in ways that not only advance the cause of justice, but also bring wholeness and healing to the clients in need. For the clients whose needs are diverse and for whom barriers are high, futures are uncertain, and justice is fleeting, may their encounter with the clinic be one that brings hope, advocates justice, and gives glimpses of your love, your goodness, and your truth. And finally, God, for those whose hearts you have moved to generously yet humbly support the clinic's work, we ask your continued blessing as well. May they find deep peace and great joy in knowing that in their giving, they are not only ensuring access to legal assistance for the poor, they are boldly demonstrating their love for you and for others. In that same sense of obedience and love, may all who are gathered here tonight be inspired to open our ears to hear the cries for justice and mercy, to open our eyes to see where we have been blind to injustice in favor of our own well-being, to open our hearts to your unconditional and abundant love for all, and to open our lives to be transformed so that we may truly do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly in a way that pleases only you. This and all things we ask in the strong and sure name of Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Well, thank you so much, Terry. And had I read my script, I wouldn't have been surprised to find out that you're going to be on the board. That's really awesome news. That's exciting. I'm really thankful to be able to introduce to you right now the chairman of the board, Jacqueline Pimentel Gannon, has been the board chairperson. Did I say chairman? the board chairperson, as well as a partner at Faegre Drinker, one of tonight's generous sponsors. She's been with the legal clinic now for 6 years as a board member and 2 years as the chairperson. We are so thankful to have you with us. Would you please come up now? Let's welcome Jacqueline.
Thanks so much, Todd. Hello, everybody. I'm Jacqueline Pimentel-Gannon, and I just want to add my thanks to each of you for being here with us this evening. We really appreciate it. I'm honored to serve on the board of the clinic as we celebrate 30 years of amazing legal work being provided to our neighbors in need. I started with the volunteering with the clinic shortly after becoming a lawyer in 2011. It was a naturalization clinic, which is where we fill out the paperwork to help immigrants become naturalized citizens of the U.S., and it was awesome. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to be at least a small part of the great work that the clinic is doing. And in fact, it's a bit of a family affair for me. My mom and dad, who are here this evening, are also volunteers or have volunteered with the clinic in intake in the case of my dad and interpretation in the case of my mom. And there's nothing like the heartwarming feeling there is to being able to help make a tangible difference in the lives of those in need. Tonight, we want to celebrate the incredible 3-decade legacy of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic and those who have faithfully served and graciously supported our mission over the years. Later in the evening, our keynote speaker, Jimmy McMillan, will discuss the ways in which the clinic's work addresses current legal and cultural challenges in Indiana. I'm also looking forward to hearing again from our musical guests, Jay and Joel Rifkind. At this point, we'd like to extend a special thank you to all of our sponsors. As you've heard before, our title sponsor is Barnes & Thornburg, and also Faegre Drinker, Second Presbyterian Church, Bose McKinney & Evans, Wagner Reese, Redeemer Presbyterian Church, Trinity Episcopal Church, and Recycle Force. Through their generous sponsorships, we are beginning our night at over $50,000, so thank you to all of them. As you all know, tonight's focus is on raising funds to support the clinic's vital work in the community. Please allow me to share a short statistic with you. Did you know that 1 in 5 low-income families will face a legal challenge this year without access to an attorney or advocate? All of tonight's contributions support legal services, education, and resources for those in need of an advocate. Rachel Geller, who is a former reentry justice client, found an advocate in the clinic, and we'll get to hear her story later in the evening about how she was able to receive a much-needed second chance. So we encourage all of you to donate at any point during the evening. There's no wrong time for generosity. One of the best ways to celebrate the clinic's 30 years of service is to meet and exceed that $90,000 goal that Todd mentioned. Thanks to a group of faithful supporters, the next $30,000 raised will be doubled. That's right, it'll be matched dollar for dollar. Will you help me, please, in thanking the group of generous supporters who made this amazing opportunity to double your impact possible? Let's take full advantage of this gift so that disadvantaged Hoosiers can continue to access eviction support, expungements, humanitarian immigration assistance, and more. Throughout the evening, you can also follow the progress on the screens and online by scanning the QR code at your table. We also want you to leave with something special tonight. You may have noticed the mystery wine poll on your way in. Make sure to grab a bottle to pour into a great cause before the night ends. And to add to the mystery, check your bag because you may have a little something special to go along with your bottle of wine, thanks to the generous donations of our community partners. Now please direct your attention to the screens as we learn a little bit more about the clinic's history from some of the people who helped to create it.
Well, that goes back to the now nearly legendary Palm Sunday sermon given by Pastor Frank Kick at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church in roughly April 1992. And at that time, he laid out his vision for TAB's role in the community that had 20 different components to it, roughly. One of which was creating a legal clinic, then what's now known as the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. So not too long after that sermon, there was a meeting at which the original 6 founders got together and discussed how we would go about creating the clinic. Then in January of 1994, we incorporated.
From my perspective as a board member, my highlight from what I saw the clinic doing was the Second Chance program. A new law had come into effect that gave people a second chance to have their criminal record expunged, and just to see the sheer value of people who needed it and the grace that we could extend so somebody could get that job to support their family or get past that second interview through an application where they had to check a box, to remove that burden from them. And we all deserve second chances, right? To me, that was a highlight and very inspirational.
It was such an exciting time to be at the clinic, to see the clinic grow, to see it continue to serve more and more people every year, and then to also see new programs develop in response to the needs of the community. So for instance, during my tenure, not only Indianapolis, but all of America was really going through a foreclosure crisis, and a lot of low and moderate income people were losing their homes. And so we built a foreclosure program to try to address that need. And so that was one of the just highlights of my time there.
When I was with the clinic, we actually won a big award for a group of migrant workers up in northern Indiana. And at that time we had a Fort Wayne office, and we had one of our attorneys up there partner with another attorney with Indiana Legal Services. And they won, I think the figure was about $1 million for these migrant workers who had been very badly mistreated by the person who owned the farm. So it really goes to show how the clinic can get involved and protect the rights of a vulnerable population.
The clinic has always looked at what the needs are for our low-income neighbors, what the legal needs are, and how the clinic can be helpful. So that's how the foreclosure prevention program started, the tenancy work started, the expungement work started. Like, it started because the clinic staff and volunteers and partners identified a legal gap, and the clinic said, hey, we can step in and help address these needs.
So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, at that time, all of our intakes and services were very much in person. We were not set up to handle any form of remote work. So if you think about that in the sense of everyone being stuck at home, everyone having to undergo quarantines, it immediately halted our ability to continue serving our clients. We had to undergo a huge transition in how we were able to serve people and how we were able to show up for them.
The clinic had to adapt, and so this wasn't anything from the board level. It was just watching the innovation and ingenuity as we used phones, as we used computers, and as people devoted their time and resources to making sure that our potential clients could get that access to being heard and potentially services then through the intake program.
What we really noticed during COVID-19 was as we were leveraging new technology tools that we hadn't used before, we were seeing a much greater need than we expected. And particularly what we were looking at was the legal education of our mission and providing Facebook Live sessions. And people were visiting and attending those in numbers we hadn't seen previously.
I think that the legacy is that the clinic is acting as the hands and feet of Jesus in the community. The impact, we'll never know how far the ripple effect goes, but it is the mission of giving a voice to the voiceless and helping those who are more vulnerable than others in our society. And there's no greater purpose. So to have an organization that doesn't just act and take action, but cares and does it following the mission of Christ is why I love the clinic.
For me personally, I think it's been incredibly impactful that we are a neighborhood organization. I think we've kept that at the center of what we are ever since we started. And so even though we've expanded into other areas, I think it's always been very important to us to be immersed in the community that we're serving.
What are my hopes and visions for the future of the clinic? First and foremost, it's to continue fulfilling the mission of serving our neighbors in Christ and through Christ. So that means not only providing legal services, but doing it in a Christian way, in a way where we walk side by side with our neighbors and help them in a way that no other clinic in town is doing. And that means showing compassion, that means walking with them in faith, and that means pursuing justice even when it's difficult.
My hope for the clinic is that it will continue to lean into the needs of marginalized neighbors, and will continue to look for ways to meet those needs in innovative ways, and that it will continue to partner with other nonprofits and other churches to help meet those needs in really powerful ways.
Yeah. It's an amazing story. It's an absolutely remarkable story, and those people that you just got to see are just a sampling of those that have been instrumental in making this happen. Jason Reese, is that you? That's an amazing jacket that you were wearing. I just want to name it. You guys were thinking it. And the remarkable work that the Legal Clinic has done over these last 30 years has been done by God's people at work. And we want to recognize some of those people tonight. I want to begin with staff members, in particular, anyone who is here this evening who is a past member of the staff of the Legal Clinic. If you would stand where you are and we can recognize you. So I see one there, I see another there, and anybody over here? Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Hey. And I know that there are a number of current staff members that are here with us this evening. So if we could recognize you where you are, if you would be willing to stand and we can recognize, yes, these are those who are on the front lines doing the work. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your commitment to justice. Thank you. So in the early days of the Legal Clinic, way back in 1994, this was a volunteer-led organization. It was a volunteer-led organization for a number of years. It was, I will be honest, a humble beginning. It was an office in the back of the Raphael Health Clinic. I remember going and visiting it early on and thinking, this is a humble place. But what the Lord has done in the years since has been absolutely remarkable. And while it began with volunteers, over the last 30 years, while many people have been on the paid staff, the Legal Clinic has continued to have volunteers to the number of, they've been able to assist 4,200 clients, 4,200 clients who walked through the doors just last year of the Legal Clinic, and that has happened through a concerted effort of the staff and the volunteers. And I want to invite you, if you have volunteered at all in this past year for the Legal Clinic, would you stand right now so we can recognize you? Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Tonight we have the privilege of recognizing an extraordinary individual who, when I saw the numbers for what this person has done for the Legal Clinic, it's absolutely astounding. Their dedication, their commitment has made a really profound impact over this last year. The Legal Clinic's Volunteer of the Year exemplifies the spirit of service, tirelessly dedicating their time, talent, and energy, helping those who are in need. And this person has volunteered at the Legal Clinic since 2018, and last year alone contributed 1,131 hours of service to the Legal Clinic. That's remarkable. I'm not good at math, but that's a lot. And this person has a particular passion to help those who are navigating the complex system that is called the The Internal Revenue Code. Yes. Especially when clients might be able to receive refunds due to errors that they weren't aware of. And this guy handles unique cases with clients who are usually reluctant to discuss tax debt. debt. But his kind-hearted nature helps them to feel at ease as he works on solving even the most difficult of cases. Since joining the clinic as a volunteer, again, these numbers are amazing, he has relieved an amazing 1.7, I'm not reading very well tonight, $1.7 million in tax debt for his clients. I'll say that again, $1.7 million in tax debt. Amazing. It's made a huge impact, a real world impact in people's lives. Unfortunately, he is not able to join us this evening, but I would ask that right now you would join me in congratulating our Volunteer of the Year, Dave Hawkins. Can we thank Dave? We so appreciate his 6 years of impactful service. So, Dave, thank you so much. You are a vital member of the low-income taxpayer clinic team, so thank you. We are grateful to have so many friends of the clinic who recognize the value of providing legal services to vulnerable members of our community. So let's give all of them a round of applause tonight. So thank you. Well, this team could not happen were it not for a leader. And tonight it's my profound honor to get to introduce Erin Hall, who came to the legal clinic just 2 years ago. And before the clinic, she served the state of Indiana for 17 years. Erin, I find it hard to believe that you're old enough to have done anything for 17 years. That's remarkable. Most recently as the Director of Policy and Legal Operations with the Indiana Department of Transportation. Her legal expertise and adept leadership skills have been a blessing to the clinic. Can we welcome Erin now? Erin.
Todd, is it your birthday today? I think we need to sing happy birthday to Todd before I get started. That's such a wonderful introduction. If you all will join me, I will do something I swear I would never do and sing into a microphone. So this might be a one-time thing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Todd. Happy birthday to you. Can't let the whole night go by without doing that, so thank you for obliging me. Well, I want to thank all of you who are in attendance tonight. Just by being here in a room of like-minded individuals, you are making a difference. To share a little history of this event, the clinic's first Justice for All event, or JFA, as we all call it, without telling anyone what it means very quickly, was held in 2001 as our signature event in the year. And a lot has changed since 2001, as you've seen. We like to adapt to meet the needs in our community. So both in the clinic and the world around us, it's always changing. But the goal of this event remains the same: to raise awareness about the importance of the clinic, the work it does, and why we do that work. So the clinic's mission is rooted in Christ's love, introducing our neighbors to the gospel matters. And here at the clinic, we live out the gospel by demonstrating Christ's love through building trusted relationships with community partners, assisting the client's needs with care and professionalism, removing barriers to justice, and making space for personal and relational growth. It's in that space where we see and experience the Holy Spirit move people forward in spiritual growth, where we get to engage in prayer with and for those we serve and participate in God's work in their lives. Practically speaking, in Indiana, 1.2 million, or approximately 212,000 households, are low income. Of those 212 households, only a quarter are able to turn to attorneys for help with their civil legal problems. Some of you may be surprised to know there is no public defender opportunity for civil legal needs. And this is particularly impactful for the thousands of our neighbors facing eviction. That leaves over 159,000 low-income households, close to 1 million Hoosiers, without access to an advocate when they walk into court facing well-represented corporations landlords, and institutions, all on their own. God does not intend that we face our challenges or solve our problems on our own. Access to justice is an essential component of administering grace in the community. When our disadvantaged neighbors seek our help, they come facing difficult obstacles, including overwhelming financial burdens, lack of access to safe and affordable housing, and insurmountable employment barriers. These obstacles are hard to comprehend for many of us here tonight, but this is the sober, daily experience of hundreds of thousands of our neighbors. And at the clinic, we work daily to remove the legal barriers holding our clients back from stability. In 2023, we served over 4,200 clients. We successfully expanded our presence in small claims court on eviction docket days across Indianapolis. We saved low-income taxpayers an amazing $779,000, achieved over a 99% success rate for expungement petitions filed in the Marion County court system, served at least 79 veterans, and opened over 780 new humanitarian immigration matters, working to achieve safety for survivors of violence, often at risk of harm or death if forced to return to their country of origin. In the next year, we're on target to assist at least 250 veterans who are at risk of experiencing homelessness or who are experiencing homelessness through our newly expanded Veterans Justice Program. The clinic's achievements are our clients' achievements. Removing legal barriers positions our neighbors to achieve stability through better opportunities. That's where your support comes in. Your contributions, big and small, make an impact on our work. By addressing critical issues like housing insecurity, tax controversies, and immigration challenges, the clinic helps people navigate complex legal systems that increasingly impact all of our everyday lives. And your support ensures that we can continue offering free legal services, access to legal education and community resources that empowers marginalized communities and fosters justice and equity for all Hoosiers, regardless of their backgrounds. Tonight, I ask you to be part of the change. Small changes, when added together, have the ability to make lasting impact on our community. Please begin to consider what your contribution will be this evening and how those of us here together tonight will come together to empower those in need around us, advocate for justice, and collaborate to build a stronger, more equitable community. As you begin to consider this, it's my pleasure to inform you that we have reached the point in the program everyone has been waiting for. And no, it's not more drink tickets. It's time to hear from our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Jimmy McMillan. As Jimmy makes his way to the stage, I'll tell you he is the Chief Diversity Officer and Senior Corporate Counsel for Penske Entertainment Corporation. He leads diversity and inclusion initiatives across the organization. He's also responsible for implementing Race for Equality and Change, an initiative aimed at increasing opportunities for underrepresented groups in the motorsports industry. We are very excited to have Jimmy here with us tonight. So without further ado, please join me in giving Jimmy McMillan a warm round of applause. Thank you.
Okay, how's everybody doing? Can we see the fundraising thing? Is that able to come up on screen? This is all impromptu. All right. Y'all see that first name up there, Tamara Rogers? That's my baby mama. All right. So I'm telling you what I'm doing. I've been sitting there. This just came to me. We're going to do some work tonight. All right? Everybody here is a true believer. And a lot of you are here because your firm paid for a table or somebody paid for a table. We got to reach out to the people who are not here, who this is an easy lift, right? They're a lawyer in the community, and all you got to do is send them a text. That's what I've been doing. I've sent out like 150 texts. Some of y'all have probably got in here because you're my mentees. So I'm sending it out to all my mentees, and it says, okay, I'm doing an on-the-fly experiment. I'm giving a speech tonight to raise money for the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic, which provides free legal services to citizens in Indianapolis. I'm trying to raise money while I'm speaking by posting the QR code to donate. You can donate $5, $10, $25, $50, or $100 No amount is too big or too small. I just want you to give so that everyone has the ability to get a lawyer when they need one. And I'm literally sending the text out with the QR code. If you got 5 friends, you gotta have 5 friends. If you don't have 5 friends, you can ask $50 for. I'm concerned about you, okay? I really am. I want you to text 5 friends. Get the QR code, text 5 friends, say send $5, $10, $15, $20, $100. If you got like really rich friends. Some of y'all got really rich friends, okay? And we're gonna watch, they're Reggie Cloyd, that's my mentee. Romy's here, but send this out, it's gonna work. Like, you gotta trust me. If we're really serious about this, the people in the room already have given or gonna give, but this is not gonna be enough for this to hit the number. And so I literally I've never done this before. I also posted it on my Facebook page, I posted it on my social. You'd be surprised how many people wanna help, they just don't even know. This is a really great cause that's not hard to get people to give to if you just ask. So I am encouraging you, before I even give my speech, take the time, think of 5 people, then you're gonna think of 10 people. Think of somebody who you know if they were here, they would give some money. It's really that deep, that simple. And I want you to send it out. If you're looking down at the phone, I'm not offended. Don't pay attention to me, raise the money. You can hear me, believe me. Do like you do when you're watching Netflix, like it's going but it's not going. All right, good afternoon. I want to begin this evening by thanking the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic Executive Director Erin Hall and all of the distinguished attorneys and outstanding members of her staff for their dedicated service to citizens of our community. Can they all please stand? Everybody that works for the agency. All right. I'm going live because somebody said go live so we can share it and we can get more people to give. This is crazy. This is actually going to work. I'm super excited. All right. To the lawyers and staff of the agency, you work hard, you care. Please stand up, stand back up. I'm talking to you. Stand up, everybody. I want to see all of you. Everybody stand up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is your night, okay? You work hard, you care, you are patient, you are kind, you explain and you advocate, you solve people's problems, and you change their lives for the better. For 30 years, you have represented the very best of us because you have dedicated your careers to helping protect the legal rights of all of us. And you deserve all the recognition and gratitude and applause that we could possibly muster. So one more big round of applause. Okay, you can sit down now. You can sit down now. I would also like to thank the committed members of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic Board of Directors, led by Board Chair Jackie Pimentel-Gannon. All the members of the board that are here, please stand. Stand up. Where are my board members? All right. I want to thank you for your leadership in ensuring the viability of the clinic. Your work is vital. Your contributions are essential, and your thought leadership and active engagement are the foundation of the clinic, its lawyers and staff, and its clients. You also deserve that round of applause. Finally, I would like to thank each of you for attending the Justice for All dinner because I need you tonight. I am so glad that you all came. I'm so excited that you are here. And I am thanking each of you in advance because I know that each of you are eager to help me answer a very difficult and painful question. The question I have for you to solve tonight may sound like a simple riddle, but it is absolutely not. It is really, really hard. And I'm sorry, but it's also really, really sad. But it is also worthy of your time and attention to give me an answer. In fact, no one is permitted to leave this room, go to the bathroom, or most importantly, get a refill on your drinks from the bar until this question is answered. And the bartenders told me to give them a shout out. I don't know where that falls in or comes in, but they did tell me, but you can't go back in and get a drink right now. You got to answer the question. So what is it? All right, are you ready? My question for you to answer is, If the price of justice is only $1, how can we ensure justice for those that don't have 1 penny? All right, let me repeat the question. You can write it down. You can put it in your phone so you can give it some thought. I'm going to be here for a little while, not a long while, but a little while. If the price of justice is only $1, how can we still ensure justice for those that do not have 1 penny? I already see immediate skepticism in your faces because we have too many lawyers in the room. And you ask one question to a lawyer and you're going to get 3 clarifying questions in response. So they're going to say, explain, quote, price. What do you mean by $1? You know, who really does not have 1 penny to spend? Come on, Jimmy. You know, here you go exaggerating. No. Some of you are sitting there going, I know that we have some philosophical geniuses present that has already formulated the argument that technically navigating the legal system may have an associated cost to it, but the exhaustive theoretical concept of justice is free. No. We're not going to dance around this question tonight. It means too much to too many people. It's actually asks too much, and it's never answered. But in the interest of getting the answer, let's break it down a different way. If a person receives an eviction notice, how much does it cost for that person to defend themselves? Anybody know? Anybody want to give me an average? Somebody said thousands of dollars. What if they paid their rent and it was miscalculated? That happened to anybody ever in their life where they paid the rent? You have any friend that paid the rent and it got miscalculated? The landlord was wrong. What if the landlord is wrong? What if they do not understand the terms of the lease? What if, because the person did in fact pay their rent, they now no longer have the money remaining to hire the lawyer to prove that they paid their rent? What if the landlord breached the terms of the lease? How much does it cost? How much should it cost for a person and their children to find out if they have the legal right to have a home or be homeless? To answer this question, maybe I need to ask if any of you know of anyone that has actually ever been homeless. Anybody know anybody that's been homeless? I do. Some of them move in and out with me frequently, called kids. Step kids. A personal question, but maybe someone is willing to share for the purposes of answering this question if they've ever personally been homeless. According to the Eviction Lab, a team of researchers, students, and website architects that nationally track and report eviction data, there are 169,686 renter households in Marion County, paying a typical rent of $960 per month. And I can tell you that's light today. Most of the people I talk to are paying $1,500 to $2,000 for a decent place. As of October 1st, 2024, there were 25,234 evictions filed this year. That number is expected to be an increase from 2023, in which 27,244 evictions were filed. Note that in 2023, 1,619 people in Indianapolis experienced unsheltered homelessness. So the question, if the price of justice for a person being evicted is only $1, how can we ensure justice for those that are being evicted that don't have a penny? One potential answer to the question has been the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic and the Tenant Advocacy Project. In 2023, through TAP, the clinic's lawyers and staff successfully represented 641 clients facing evictions or other housing-related issues. Let's thank the members of the clinic again for being part of the answer to the eviction question. For those who did not have the means or resources to pay for justice, I did say pay for justice. But are we satisfied with that answer? Are you ready to leave, to go to the bathroom and get another drink at the bar? Are you confident that the other 26,600 tenants, each of them and all of them, were not wrongfully evicted? Anybody believe that? Do you think somebody lost their place to stay they shouldn't have? What if one tenant is sleeping on the streets tonight because they could not afford the proper legal representation? How does that make you feel? That's why I'm sitting up sending text messages, because I don't feel good about that. So you're still thinking. Okay, let me break the question down another way. All right, you can put this in your phone. Get ready. What if the federal or state government alleges that a person owes past due taxes? How much does it cost that person to defend themselves? Anybody ever had to hire a tax attorney? Some of y'all have. Some of y'all with money have. I used to work at Barnes & Thornburg. I know even rich people have tax problems. Very, very expensive tax problems. Now, I know some of you are ready to hit the door behind this tax issue, because some of y'all are feeling it. It's a little too close, personal. But don't leave. I still need you to answer the question for me. This is too difficult, and for some, it may even be too personal. So let me ask a much easier question. What does the mere allegation that a person owes a federal or state tax debt cost a person? Anybody in here can relate? I'm going to tell y'all. I left Barnes & Thornburg 2016. And through the process of leaving, and I went through a divorce, I ended up with a tax lien of about $60,000 that I had to deal with over a period of years. And when I tried to sell my house, the second I put my house on the market, they hit it with a tax lien that had to be resolved. Now, thankfully, the market was up. I was able to sell it, and I was resolved it. But it was stressful. It was stressful the entire time. I'm being candid. It's some other people, because I know it's some other people that have dealt with Big Brother IRS and the government. It is not fun when you have money, much less when you don't. So what does it cost a person? It could cost you your home. It could cost you your job. It could cost you your business. It could cost your ability to seek a license. It could cost your ability to finalize a divorce. It could cost you a tax refund that you are entitled to. It could cost your ability to get a loan or a line of credit. It could cost you your retirement income. It can even cost you your freedom. Many of us in the room can truly attest that at a minimum, dealing with the IRS for even one robotic phone call can cost you your spiritual well-being and mental sanity and push you completely over the edge. Fighting the United States government or the state of Indiana can make you want to give up. Figuring out how much you owe, why you owe it, how you're going to pay it, drive you flat out crazy. And according to the IRS, nearly 1 in 4 Americans owe back tax. And I know it's more than 4 Americans in here today. I'm not calling nobody out, but that's what the IRS said. 1 in 4 Americans owe back taxes. In 2022, the amount totaled over $120 billion in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Unbelievable, ridiculous, absurd. I mean, who in the world can't fill out a simple tax return? If a person owes taxes, it must be because they didn't pay their taxes. They know what they owe, and the government knows exactly what they were supposed to pay. Surely, a person does not need a lawyer to resolve a simple tax dispute. Well, humbly, reasons for owing taxes could be as simple as you made a simple mistake, such as filing late, or maybe you made a typographical error in your tax calculations. Anybody happen to anybody here? In fact, there have been many instances in where people were accused by the government of owing a tax debt when, upon examination by the skillful counsel of the neighborhood Christian legal clinic, they were found to actually be entitled to a tax refund. Once again, in 2023, the attorneys and staff of the clinic were part of the answer to the question. They successfully represented 208 clients facing tax controversies, and we should thank them for that. But what happened to those that they were not in a position to help? Let me rephrase the key question of the evening for you. If the price of justice for a person challenging a federal or state tax debt is only $1, how can we ensure justice for those that are defending the tax debt, but because of it, they don't have a penny? Are we okay with that? How does it make you feel? Keep on sending them texts out. Okay, let me break down the question another way. You can put it in your phone, you can send a message to somebody, they may touch it. How much should it cost for a citizen to get a job? Wait. Okay, let me rephrase it. Should a citizen be able to get a job when they previously pled guilty to a nonviolent criminal offense 10 years ago, but since that time, they have an otherwise spotless record? Should they be able to get a job? I'm going to tell you at least 4 or 5 times a week, somebody calls me and asks me about expungement. If Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic did not exist, and somebody called you right now, text you right now, and said, I'm going to donate $50, but can you tell me, I got a cousin in them who needs to get an expungement. They got a DUI 10 years ago. They need that expunged. I'm willing to donate $50 right now, but can you tell me who will do the work? Anybody got a reference? Anybody got somebody to refer to other than Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic? Because I don't. I'm keeping it 100. I don't have, there's nobody else to do that work. And if you believe it's not necessary, you are not living in the same Riverside, Hallville, Brightwood, the rest of Indianapolis area that I live in, where every day there is a person who said, 10 years ago, I got a DUI. 10 years ago, I had a theft. 15 years ago, this happened. How much does it cost to do it? Because I can't afford it. But if I can just get a job and get it off my record, I'll be okay. Keep texting. Keep sending out them texts. Somebody wants to give. Okay, so according to the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic, the average cost for an attorney to help former offenders get their record expunged costs anywhere from $600 to $1,000. And under the law, you only get one chance to file a petition for expungement in your lifetime. You got one chance to get it right, $600 to $1,000. In 2023, the clinic was once again part of the answer to the question, successfully assisting 2,783 citizens with obtaining an expungement of their criminal convictions and arrests. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to the lawyers. But we are confident. Are we confident? Are we confident that they were able to help everyone that needs an expungement? If the answer is no, then what happened to those people that were not helped? Did they get a job? Are they at a high-paying job? Or did they give up? The question for you to answer tonight is, if the price of justice for a person seeking the lawful expungement of their criminal record is only $600, then how can we make sure that a man or woman that cannot get a job because they can't get their record expunged because they don't have a penny, how can we ensure that that person has justice? Okay, one more attempt. Just ride with me. One more attempt. Send out one more text message in the spirit of one more attempt. All right? We had 95,000. We are over the 90. Did you raise the amount? I thought you raised the amount. Huh? You raised it? Okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. I think this is going to get them there. Maybe we're going to cross 100,000 tonight. I think we can get over 100 if we all push. If somebody in your circle, they asked you for money last year. Think about the people that asked you for money and you gave, text them back. People do it to me all the time. All right, one more attempt to rephrase the question, and then you're all going to have to give me the real answer tonight, all right? Not playing, so I'm serious. How much does it cost when a person faces deportation? So whether you are here illegally or legally, you can be confronted with the legal challenges to your right to live, work, study, enroll your children in schools, or open a bank account. Indianapolis has a population of approximately 80,000 immigrants, making up 9% of the city's population. Language and cultural barriers can make fighting these issues an insurmountable challenge. 84% of the foreign-born population in Indiana who are 5 or older speak a language other than English at home. These are people, human beings, business owners, our co-workers, neighbors, friends, husbands, wives, and parents. They are not they and them and the enemy and invaders. Just because they don't look like you, sound like you, or were born in the same country as you, doesn't mean that they are not you. Men created these artificial boundaries called countries and nations, but at the end of the day, it belongs to all of us. And far be it from me to have water and food and drink over here and watch you starve over there. My Bible says that we are all equal in the eyes of God. And all means all. And if we thought like that, maybe we'd stop shooting at each other and stop killing each other over truly nothing. We should all be so thankful today that in 2023, the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic lawyers and staff represented 902 clients in regards to immigration status and benefits. But once again, are we sure that they were able to help everyone that needed help? What happened to thousands of others? And do we care? If an immigration issue only costs $1 to resolve, but the person doesn't have a peso in their pocket, then is the cost of justice too high? What do you think? So are you now ready to answer the question? The mission of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic is to advance justice through legal representation and education for our disadvantaged neighbors as a way to demonstrate Christ's love. And the vision is to provide justice for the vulnerable so that all may flourish. I asked you a question of how do we even attempt to ensure justice for all without putting a price tag on the seemingly unavoidable cost. And at least one answer to that question for us has been in this room, the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. We have to continue to support and help them so that they can continue to do for the next 30 years what they've done for the past 30 years. And we have to tell others about what they do. And we have to volunteer and assist when we can to help them in their mission because they can't do it all alone and they can't do it by themselves. The lawyers and the staff are part of the answer to the question, but they are not the full answer to the question. They can't uphold those lofty principles of justice and fairness under the law by themselves, nor should they have to. We are all beneficiaries of a system of law, but it is a sham, a joke, it's an illusion, a mirage, if it only works and applies to people that have money. We know the extreme dangers and risks that come from having a total lack of legal representation in the criminal context. That's why we give people public defenders. But are we so naive to believe that citizens do not face equal and sometimes greater legal peril from not having legal representation in disputes over contracts and leases and employment situations and taxes and immigration issues, dissolutions of marriage, loan agreements, child support, custody issues, and business disputes? If this bothers you, then I'm asking you to give tonight. Now, I know you done already gave. That, I'm sure y'all, if you haven't given, give right now. Give, okay? But now I'm asking you to ask others right here tonight before you leave. I'm not playing. It works. I promise you, it's working. People are giving. I'm going to go back to my seat. I'm going to text them more. If they don't say no, what do you lose? You're not going to lose. The person who comes in the legal clinic is going to lose. But what if they say yes? You might literally save somebody's life just by sending a text message. That's how amazing the world is today. Put your pride aside. I want to, I've been blessed to have to get to this point in life. My mother's here today, and some of you know my story. It's been wild and crazy. I don't know how I get to stand up here in front of you based on some of the things that have happened in my life. My father shot my mother 3 times. My grandfather shot my father in front of me. My father tried to shoot me. And yet, you know, I've been blessed to be here, and I think it's for only one purpose, and that's to speak for the people who can't be in this room. I hang with them, I kick it with them, I live with them, I grew up with them, and they will never be in this room and understand. They're going to come to the clinic, and they assume that the government is going to give the clinic enough money to help everybody, just like they do the Public Defender Agency, and we know that's not true. This is something we all should give something to, because the system really doesn't work if there are people walking around saying, man, you know, I can't afford to go to court. I can't afford to fight. I can't afford to get a lawyer. And we pick it up and say, that's not fair, that's not right. It's like, yeah, but I can't afford it. I urge you to not just give, but to ask others to give tonight. I'm so glad we had $105,000. That makes me very happy. That's awesome. Tonight you answered the question. And so I want to thank you for that. And this is how we're going to try to provide justice for all. I appreciate your participation in my experiment. I appreciate your donations. I appreciate your time and attention. God bless you, and good night.
So I've been crying over there, and now I've got to get up right now. Jimmy, we are so blessed to have your voice and to have your presence with us this evening. You gave us just a little bit of a glimpse of what God has done in your life to bring you to this point, and we are so thankful for how you are using what God has given to you for His purposes. I've been to a number of these. I think I've been to most of these, and that was a singular experience for the JFA. Can we thank Jimmy again for... Absolutely amazing. And by the way, if you've not yet texted, he's not joking. It works. I was sitting over there. I was like, I guess I'll text a guy that I work with. And then his name's up there for $100. So if you've not done it yet, I can see you. I'm just letting you know. I am up here and I'm up above, and I can tell whether or not you're doing this. So I'm just encouraging. I'm not telling you that you have to, but I highly encourage you. It's really cool to see your friends' names up there. Okay. So speaking of friends, I have the great honor of introducing a dear friend and my very best friend. So Abby Kuzma was one of those 6 founders 30 years ago who volunteered at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church to start this thing that it was about faith and trusting that God had a heart for justice. It's been an honor to get to know Abby over these years, to know her as a mentor, friend. She's literally my elder. I've been a pastor, and she's been on the elder board, so she's been my boss as well. Abby, it's an honor to have you with us this evening. She continues to be, after she was the legal clinic CEO, this is somewhere in here, executive director, for how many years, Abby? For 15 years, she continues to serve now on the board. So thank you so much for being with us this evening, Abby. And she is joined by my lovely wife, Angeline Fisher. So Angeline, if you and Abby want to come up right now, we can welcome them to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And thank you again, Jimmy, for such incredible words. You actually got me all teary, so I can't see myself if my makeup is running. That's why I was crying. Are you on?
I don't know. Am I on?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, good. I'm really bad at technology. For those of you who know me, you know that.
Well, I guess we thought we would just, I think because Abby and I are some of the longest, well, Abby obviously is one of the longest, if not the longest serving person involved with the clinic. And I started at the clinic as a 1L, volunteering this summer with Abby. And then after I graduated, came back on as a staff attorney, and then have been with the clinic on and off as an attorney for the last 20-some years. And so I think...
Best hire ever.
Aw. best boss. She was a wonderful boss. So we thought we would just have a little chat, since we're celebrating 30 years, about sort of where we've seen the clinic come from and what kind of our hopes and visions are for the clinic in the future. So, Abby, let me ask you, how did the clinic's founding change your life?
Well, I don't know about you all, but I thought I had retired. I had been on Capitol Hill working for the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee in D.C., and we came back to Indianapolis, and I thought, okay, well, I'll have more children, and I'll retire. I had 4 children. And Lynn, by the way, Lynn is one of those 6 as well. Raise your hand, Lynn, because not everybody knows that. Lynn and I and others were responding to that, and he talked about it in his little video, the Palm Sunday service sermon where we were inspired to start a legal clinic. And if you guys have heard me talk about this, it was like lightning striking for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I have to be involved with this. So it was very exciting. So I went from being retired to being a volunteer for the clinic, and I was not a very expected, or one wouldn't have thought I would be very useful, frankly, because I had never practiced law. So why did I think I could do this? I don't know. I worked for the government, right? So I had never actually had a practice or represented people, but I knew a lot of really wonderful people like Lynn, who mentored me, when we would take cases. So when it started out, well, that's how it changed my life, basically. We started out, Todd was talking about our humble beginnings. We had a donated space in the Raphael Health Clinic that had lots of roaches. That was one of my jobs in the morning.
Yes, in the sink all the time.
Do you remember those?
Yes, roaches in the sink.
It was really attractive. So we had intake every Saturday morning, and then we grew. So within 10 years, within 6 years, we had more than 10 intake sites. And we were all volunteer for 6 years, and then we got our first grant after that.
Yeah, it was quite a different time.
It was.
It was wonderful to see the growth that the clinic has gone through, and that's actually the next question. How does the clinic differ now in comparison to the start from what you've observed as a board member?
Well, obviously, and this goes into the next thing that Ange and I are going to talk about, one of the most exciting things that we have been able to do at the clinic, and again, this is not us, I am positive that this is the Lord that allowed us to respond to the felt needs of our clients. So as we were expanding, we would find out, for example, in year 2000, 2001, Indianapolis experienced a tremendous number of immigrants coming to our city. And it was a surprise for everyone. Nobody was prepared. Very few attorneys knew how to do immigration law at the time. Mm-hmm. And a number of the health clinics came to us and said, can you help? People are coming to us and they have legal issues. We don't know what to do. Can you help this with us? And we were able to respond. Similarly, we've heard about the LITC clinic. We were asked by the IRS to start this clinic. They knew the need in our area. We had asked them to come and educate some of our clients, including immigrants, but other low-income families as well. And they said, can you apply to be an LITC, a low-income taxpayer clinic, because we need you here. And we did, and we were able to do that. Mm-hmm. Josh Abel talked about our foreclosure response, and that was, again, something that came up. We knew it was a huge need. In fact, the clinic, the folks at the clinic, we were able, the attorneys there, to see what was happening before it was national news. We could see people who were losing their homes, and we knew what was going on. So we were able to respond, and it was just a blessing to be there. For me, one of the things that I was able to do I ended up starting out most of the programs, which is pretty funny when you think of me as a tax expert, for example, but I had to be the tax expert first. So we could get the LITC grant, and then I hired somebody who really was the tax expert. But anyway, meanwhile, I knew what I was doing only because I had great mentors. But in immigration, I was able to do asylum, which was just a tremendous blessing and really scary, frankly. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that that's been one of the markers of the clinic is being able to respond to the needs that we are seeing in our community, and that's definitely, I would imagine, as we think about how you see the clinic sort of evolving, over the next 30 years is. I would hope that would be something that we would continue to be able to do.
Absolutely, that's critical. Mm-hmm. That's critical, and we have also been able to respond in interesting ways with technology to serve people around the state in more effective ways than we ever have been able to before. So I hope that continues and becomes stronger.
What do you think is different about the clinic's mission than other legal agencies?
Well, the obvious thing is that most of us, many of us, certainly me and Angelin, have been motivated by our faith. Our clients can come from anywhere. There's no, need, of course, that they be believers, that they are sharing the Christian faith with us. We'll serve anyone who walks in the door. But most of us who serve are serving because it's a way to act out our faith. And it's very rewarding for us. And so I think that's one of the things that's different. Another thing is that we've always been able, on a practical level, to have our clients talk directly with attorneys. And I think that's been very effective and very meaningful for the clients. I think they feel respected and served. And I think that's been really important as well.
Wonderful. And how would you describe the clinic's work in 3 words?
Okay, we were both. I'm curious to see what Angie's going to say, because I have to ask her this question too. My 3 words are pretty corny. But but I really thought about it a lot, and I think that they describe the clinic well. Of course, the first one is justice. Justice is why we're here. I mean, that's the point. The point is that the Lord, the Bible, all over talks about how we need to provide justice for those who are disadvantaged. And that's something that we do and something that we need to be doing. Another word is faith and faithful, because when we first started out, we didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't know where we were going to find money. We didn't know how we were going to find people, and the Lord provided. And the clients came, and we went from just a little intake to lots of folks coming in and needing to hire people and needing to expand. So when I left after 15 years, we had gone from 0 funding to $1 million, and then it expanded after that significantly. So, going from in that short period of time, it was a faith experience. And as Ange knows, when we were first starting out, when I knew that I had to pay everybody's salary, it was really scary. And there was never a time when I couldn't pay everybody's salary. And I'll tell you what, that's the Lord. So I think faith and faithful also to our clients, that we're there and we're still going forward and we still care and we still know that each person is valued by Christ and needs special attention and needs to be valued by us. And the third word is love. I don't think you can do this without having the love of Christ in you, or at least in terms of, for me, and also being able to serve others with that love. In other words, just knowing that each person is valuable and being able to serve that person in a way that they know, that we know, that they are valuable human being and that they deserve whatever we can do for them. So those are my 3 words. So I'll flip it to you. So, Angelin, what are your 3 words? We didn't consult on this, so she might have the same words.
So my 3 words were compassion, because obviously, you have to have really be filled with compassion, and you are filled with compassion at the end of the day when it's the clients that you're serving, because for me, at least certainly, that's one of the largest rewards and blessings is getting to actually interact and be a part of some of my clients' lives who are some of my favorite people. They're so resilient. They are so good-natured and persevering despite all of the sometimes unimaginable struggles and difficulties that they have faced in their lives. So compassion, and then the second one was kind of like faithful, it was commitment, because I do feel that it does require a great deal of commitment to stay. It's a choice to continue to stay doing the work, and I feel that the clinic as a whole, as an organization, has really in the 30 years expressed such a great and deep level of commitment, largely in great part because of such faithful supporters through the legal community, the church community, and just the community in general. And then the last word, this was kind of different, and maybe this just describes me more, or like my motivation, or what I've experienced in my years, is joyful, joy-filled. And joy is different than happiness, right? Because there have been many times, I think, that there have not been happy times at the clinic, or that I personally have not been happy, right? Because it's really hard work, and you get tired, and you can get burnt out, it's exhausting, and at the end of the day, for me at least, because as Abby said, my motivation to serve is based on my faith. Joy is something that lasts, that's not based on circumstances, but it's because I know I have a higher and deeper purpose and a reason for being at the clinic and for serving the clients that I do. So those are my 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also, we talked about when you started, which was in 1998, right?
Yes.
So quite a while ago. Okay, so.
And I think we're actually running short on time, so
are we running
maybe.
short on time?
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe we got to wrap
She
it up.
said she wanted to leave, so she didn't have to talk very much. But let me see if there's something else we need to have here. Okay, how do you think our clinic is different than other agencies? I'll ask that the last one.
Oh, well, again, I think that one of the things that I have noticed is that because we started out as sort of a neighborhood model, I do feel like that's something that's really unique to us, is that we're able to pivot to be able to serve the community in unique ways. And then because, again, we're in neighborhoods, I think we place a really high emphasis on community partners. Certainly in our department, and I know for the other departments as well, we know that we are stronger in partnership with other community organizations, and so we really value that. For example, especially in immigration, where we know that oftentimes the people that are the front line that are coming into contact with the most vulnerable, the most needy of immigrants, for example, the spouse who is suffering from domestic violence, most likely she's going to first come into contact with somebody in, at Eskenazi or at the Julian Center. And so those partnerships are really important to us because we can serve the most people and we can kind of meet people where they are. So I feel like that's one thing that I really love about the clinic. It's a marker of what we do. So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Five and a half years ago, my addiction had brought me to homelessness. I had lost my son, my spouse, and my house, and I ended up with a trash bag on the street. And God just brought me supernaturally to the steps of Wheeler Mission. I entered their Higher Ground addiction program, and it just changed my life. And through that program, I connected with the Christian Legal Clinic, and that's where it all started. When you're in the program at Wheeler Mission, what happens is you meet with an attorney from the Christian Legal Clinic one-on-one. I discussed the different types of cases that I had. At that time, what was really big was I hadn't filed taxes in 12 years, so then we had to address that. Also, I had an extensive criminal history, so we talked about getting that expunged. And unfortunately, I had committed misdemeanor theft right before I went into the Higher Ground program. And so the lawyer informed me that we would have a little bit of a journey to walk until we could apply for that expungement. And I didn't really care because I knew that I had to get out of that cycle. and I had to break free. When I first met with the attorney from the clinic was in 2019, and so I was in program for 2 years almost. So in that entire time, in the 2 years that I was in, my taxes were filed by the clinic. And so I got like a big return, which was amazing. And with that big return, I filed bankruptcy so that I could break free from the chains of my financial debt. So wow, there's God right there working through the clinic. And then I had to wait 3 years to apply for an expungement from the misdemeanor theft. And so we waited that time period. And I think it almost a year of paperwork and filing things. And the attorneys were just so diligent about contacting me. They're so patient. There was that care. There was that love. So my expungements got finalized in 2024, about 2.5 months ago now, yeah. So towards the end of the process of the expungement, what Wendy had to do was write a lot of, legal paperwork is what I'll call it. She got me court dates so I could go to court and meet with the judges to I had a lot of fees, so we had to file for indigency, so I didn't have to pay for those. Because I'm a single mom. So she did all of that for me. I went to court, I met with a judge that I had been in front of years before, and I got to share part of my testimony with him. We filed the paperwork for indigency, and it was like very almost immediate, I think a few weeks before she was like calling me, and she was like, keep checking, check my case, see if you have any more court dates, see if it's expunged. And finally I got a call from the courts, and they were like, we erased everything. And I went on my case. I was crying. I was just like, I'm free. Like, I can get a job now that will help me support my child, who means the world to me, who's my motivation. And for the past 5 years, I've really struggled being a single mom and also walking my recovery journey. My son and I have struggled, and just being able to get a job, like I said, and be able to support him and be able to give him things that I want to means like the world to me. So when it happened, we went to Giacomo's and we celebrated and cried, and it was just a really amazing point in our life, an amazing gift.
Wow, what an amazing story. And we are blessed to have Rachel with us this evening. Am I correct about this? That Rachel is here with us? Rachel, was she able to make it? She was not able to make it this evening. What an amazing story. I've been over here crying the whole time, and then I've got to get up and talk to you guys. It's just absolutely remarkable what God has done through the work of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. And I'm so grateful to have had any part in any of this. I want to thank Abby and Ange for you guys sharing with each other and sharing the stories of how God's been working through your lives. I want to invite now to have Michelle Poindexter come up. And Michelle and I have a decidedly easier job than we were imagining that we were going to have when we discussed this evening, because we're here to talk about raising some funds. And but before we do that, Michelle, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so, hello, can you hear me? No, it's on.
Take that.
Oh, thank you. So I'm Michelle Poindexter, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this special evening. I learned about the clinic because my daughter, Carshell Betho, is the HR director. She passionately spoke about the clinic and their mission, so I couldn't help but be inspired and thankful for their dedication and commitment to this community for 30 years. As I'm transitioning back to Indianapolis after being gone for almost 17 years, I do plan to volunteer, and also my goal is to pursue becoming a member of the board. That said, we want to invite you to also take part in this special night. Whether you are here in person or online, it's because of your support that the clinic can continue its vital work. Every dollar you give tonight ensures that individuals and families receive the critical assistance they need to achieve justice and stability. Your generosity changes lives, and we are deeply grateful for all you can make possible. As a friendly reminder, thanks to the group of faithful supporters, the first $30,000 raise will be doubled.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's already happened. Awesome. So as we are nearing the end of the evening, we are excited to be able to share some very tangible, specific ways that the money that, if you've already given, you're going to get to hear some ways that that money has a real-world impact. If you have not yet given, this is going to be your opportunity. Some of you have been so busy texting all your friends, you forgot to give yourself. We don't want to take away the blessing of giving from anybody that's here tonight. So we are going to encourage you right now to go ahead and take your phones and go ahead and scan that QR code if you haven't. And I believe that the QR code is right there in the center of your table next to Jimmy's smiling face. And thank you again, Jimmy, for everything that you've done. Oh, what?
Wow.
What? $112,000 thus far. But I know, again, I can see what's going on. And some of you guys haven't been able to give yet. And we are excited to be able to invite you to be a part of this and to tell you some of the practical ways that your giving makes a difference.
Absolutely. So we've talked about scanning the QR code, but you can also text to give a donation by sending JFA, all caps, to 53-555. That's JFA, and text it to 53-555. We also have the clinic's development team in the back if you would like to use a credit card, write a check, or make a cash donation. All you have to do is wave your hand and they will help you. There are also some cool blue pom-poms on the table. As we get closer and closer to tonight's goal, which we've exceeded, and so now our goal is $120,000.
$120,000. It's my birthday as well,
yes.
And that's what I want for my birthday. I'm just saying. So
yes. Okay. So
they can wave those pom-poms. Let me tell you the first practical thing. We're gonna dial that back. We'll bring up the music in just a moment. So by giving $1,000, you can support a week's worth of work in what you've heard about thus far called the TAP Court. The TAP Court. So what is the TAP Court? It is the Tenant Advocacy Project, which provides attorneys and tenant navigators in 8 out of the 9 township small claims courts. The clinic operates in several small claims court dockets each week to assist with housing-related issues like evictions. We've heard some of those stories tonight. $1,000 would support a week's worth of work in the TAP Court. I want to give you an opportunity again. If you've not been able to do this thus far, this is a moment that you can do that. So thank you for those who have given thus far, and we continue to see these numbers coming in.
Okay, so by giving $500, you could support a week's worth of casework for a hardworking, low-income taxpayer clinic team. Your contribution could also provide clients with expert tax assistance, allowing them to take much-needed relief from their financial burdens. The LITC works to assist low-income taxpayers with their federal tax controversies. So again, scan the QR code or text JFA to 53-555. Awesome. Thank you in advance for your contribution. We're at $114,000.
Yeah,
Our new goal is $120,000.
Yeah, $120,000. We're on our way. And Plues Shadley, thank you guys so much. And I believe that we've got some representatives from Plues here tonight. If you're here from your law firm and you're like, our law firm forgot to there you go, and we'll put it up there. We'll say thanks to your law firm. $250 could be used for an expungement client to have a much-needed second chance in life. We just heard one of these stories. Your $250 contribution could provide an expungement for an individual to give them a fresh start, like we heard in Rachel's story, and for them to be able to move ahead in their life in new ways. So this whole expungement issue, for many of us who come from a certain way of living, it's not something that we're used to hearing about. It is huge. It can make a huge difference in somebody's life. So $250 can make an impact in expungement.
Yes, so by giving $100, you could help at-risk and homeless veterans at one of our Consult with a Lawyer sessions. Your $100 contribution could help a homeless veteran receive the legal assistance they need, catapulting them to obtain meaningful employment and a place to live. In the newly expanded Veterans Justice Program, they offer 2 Consult with a Lawyer sessions per month, during which clients can discuss their legal issues with one of the trusted attorneys. So when I registered, I gave a little tonight. I am going to donate $100 because my daughter, Carshell, is a Navy veteran, and I support our troops.
Awesome. Absolutely. So wonderful to hear. $50 can help an individual who is seeking asylum from political persecution in their home country. I get to hear the stories with Anja's work of those who have escaped unthinkable situations and are here in this country. And if they were to go back to the place that they came from, like some of their friends and families, they might actually lose their lives. $50 can provide critical legal support to individuals in desperate need, helping them to navigate the very complex immigration processes and pursue stability here in Indiana. If the IRS code is complex, the immigration code may be even more complex as well. So this is a very practical way that you can make a difference in somebody's life.
Yes, so I have the fun part. Volunteers will unveil the Last Hero Standing Prize, which is a rolling cooler packed with an assortment of donated beverages. It will be hidden under a tablecloth until the big reveal. So, the cooler is packed with your favorite Indiana-sourced wines and beverages, including Hard Truth Distillery Bourbon, St. Elmo's Cosmopolitan, Ash and Elm Cider, Oliver Winery, Easily Winery, and Hotel Tango Distillery, and more, is valued at $400. So again, we're asking for $100. But here's the twist. The last person to donate $100 via the QR code will win this cooler. While every donation matters, this particular prize is reserved for those here with us. But don't worry. If you are not here in person tonight, we have something special for you too. The last online $100 donation will receive a signed football by members of the Indianapolis Colts. So if you're local, you can come by the office next week and pick up the football, or we can ship it to you. So again, the deadline for donations is approximately 10 minutes. According to my Apple Watch.
Yep.
It's 7:46 now. So 7:56 p.m., you will win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that person.
Let's do it.
the
We're
very
at
last-
116,000.
But don't wait until the very end, although I know some of you who are really excited about this, and you can give more than that $100 as well. So we're going to go ahead and take some time and listen once again to our amazing, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, if you were able to hear the Jay and Joel Rifkind. Are you guys related? You probably get that sometimes. They were performing before, and they're going to give us some music right now as we take some time to consider getting to that $120,000. So,
Awesome.
Thank you. Oh, we are so close, guys. So close. It's amazing what we've gotten to. And I believe that you're going to let me know who our final person is. Do you have it? Okay, and I hope that James Amin is listening right now. James, are you here in this room? James, congratulations. I hope you have room for this in your vehicle. So let's tell James congratulations. Thank you guys so much for being here this evening. Thank you for coming out to support the amazing work of the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. For those of you who are participating in the VIP dessert afterwards, that's going to be happening right after this. If you were not able to give yet, you are always welcome to continue to give. Once again, we want to thank our title sponsor. It's going to just be Kendall that's getting the thanks. Kendall, thank Barnes & Thornburg for us. Thank you to Abby and Ben Kuzma as well, to Fagri Drinker, Second Presbyterian, Bose McKinney and Evans, and Wagner Reese. Thank you to the Rifkin twins. Thank you so much for the music that you provided us for us this evening, absolutely. And most importantly, thank you all for being here tonight and for being part of the clinic family. We are truly grateful for your support, and we look forward to many more years of working for justice together. Good night. Have a blessed evening. Thanks for...